Hi, this is Mr. Shumway. This video clip explains how to do the math of figuring out light bulb costs, specifically comparing incandescent to LEDs. So electricity is selling for 10 cents per kilowatt hour, KHW. My living room has 8 60-watt bulbs. My kitchen has 8 60-watt bulbs. My dining room has 5 60-watt bulbs. My family room has 5 60-watt bulbs. If I light these rooms for 3 hours each night for 4 weeks, it will cost how much? Well, let's add up all of the 60-watt bulbs. We have 8, oops, 8 plus 8 plus 5 plus 5. So here's 10, here's 16, so that would be 26. So if I have 26 bulbs at 60 watts each, that means that we are using 1,560 watts. That's joules per second. So kilowatt hours, so it's 1.5 thousand watt hours if I leave it running for an hour, but I leave it running for, we're talking about 3 hours per night. So 1,560, a 1.56 kilowatt times 3 hours, and times 4. Talking about 4 weeks. Okay, so we'll do 7 times 4, so that'd be 28 days. 3 hours per day. So that would be 1.5 times 3 times 28. So that ends up being 393 of these kilowatt, those 1,000 watt hours. And each one of those costs 10 cents. So kilowatt hours cancel, we'll just end up with money. So that just is the same as dividing by 10, multiplying by 0.1. So that will cost us $39.30. Electricity is selling for 9 cents per kilowatt hour. My living room has 6 9-watt LEDs. My kitchen has 4 9-watt LED lights. My dining room has 3 9-watt LED lights. My family room has 4 9-watt LED lights. If I light these rooms for 5 hours each night for 4 weeks, it will cost what? So let's see, we have 4 plus 6 is 10, and then we have 3 plus 4 is 7. So altogether we will have 17 bulbs glowing. So, and each one of those burns is at 9 watts. If I multiply, $153 watts. So I'm burning 153. Well, when we're talking about kilowatts, that's how many thousand watts. So I move the decimal 3 places. So that is 0.153 kilowatts. And then I multiply that by the hours, so that'd be 5 hours per day. 4 weeks. Each week is 7 days. 4 times 7 is 28. And so 28 times 5 times 0.153. So that would be 21.4. And that is kilowatt hours. If I multiply that by 0.09 per kilowatt hour, and that turns out to be a cost which is $1.93. So it's a little cheaper to use these LEDs. They're a little brighter. So if you can buy a 60-watt incandescent light bulb that's expected to last 2,500 hours for 47 cents, and if electricity is selling for 9 cents per kilowatt hour, 10,000 hours of this type of light will cost what? Well, let's take our 10,000 hours that we're going to burn, and one bulb will last 2,500 hours, so that means hours per bulb. So that means we're going to need 4 bulbs to do 10,000 hours. And so I have to buy 4 times the 47 cents, that's 0.47. So that equals $1.88 just to buy the bulbs. And if we burn at 60 watts, 60 watts for 10,000 hours, and then there's 1 kilowatt is 1,000 watts for every 1,000 watts. So the watts cancel, and then if I multiply it, so that's just the units of kilowatt hours, and if I multiply that by 0.09 dollars per kilowatt hour, and the kilowatt hours cancel, and that will just be money. Turns out that that cost is going to be $54. The cost of the light bulb itself is small compared to the cost of using the light bulb. If you buy a 9-watt LED light for $3.17 instead of a 60-watt incandescent bulb for 41 cents, it will take how many hours for this investment to pay for itself if electricity is selling for 10 cents per kilowatt hour? So let's see how many watts we save and see how long it would take to pay for the extra money that we paid to buy the bulb. So the extra cost is $3.17 minus the 41 cents. So $2.76. And so we need to find out how many hours it would take to make up that cost difference. So let's see, the watts, the watt difference would be 60 minus 9, so the watt difference is 51 watts. So if I'm burning so for a difference of 51 watts, and I multiply that by okay, so 1 kilowatt hour is selling for 0.10 for 10 cents, and then if I see how many 10 cents are in $2.76, then the dollars cancel, and so I can see that the units are going to tell me to do something a little different here. So I'm going to erase that and start out with the kilowatt hours. So 1 kilowatt hour for 10 cents. If I multiply that by the $2.76, and then if I multiply that by, I know that there are one kilowatt is 1,000 watts. So I'm going to divide by 51 watts. Well, how do I know that? Well, I know that the watts are going to have to cancel. I know that the kilowatts are going to have to cancel, but the hours do not. The dollars cancel. So then we just end up with units of hours. So do the math. And my calculator tells me multiply everything on the top, divide by anything on the bottom, tells me 541 hours. So for a light bulb that's expected to last 10,000 hours, it pays for itself over and over and over. Okay, so just real quickly on this one, you may have to just pause it. That turns out to be $1.68.